All right, here we are. It's Greg Poole with Bowjunky Media, bowjunkymedia.com. We're at the 2017 Archery Shooters Association event in Appling, Georgia. Here with Darren Christianberry. This weekend's coverage is brought to you by AAE, Arizona Archery Enterprises. It's time for the big boys.
The big boys, my peeps.
There you go. We got Danny McCarthy at a 426, Levi Morgan at a 424, Joseph Goza with a 416, and then Joby Shaw and Jack Wallace tied at a 412. Joby Shaw actually almost tried to shoot himself out of this one with an 8 on his last target. But we'll be curious to see how this works out. I know that Danny's been getting some weather to shoot in, and so he shot strong this weekend.
Once he starts practicing, he's a handful.
Absolutely. All right, here we go. Dan McCarthy with a 14 right off the bat for Dan McCarthy. That surprises nobody at all.
All right, guys, I'm sorry.
So that's going to put a little bit of pressure on Levi there. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that Levi probably didn't blank the coyote.
I can't see it from where I'm sitting, but if I know him, he probably 12'd it.
What release is Jack using?
12 for Levi Morgan. Good.
That's weird.
Nostra Darren. Darren calls that. Good call, buddy. So even with that 12 on that target, Danny McCarthy is going to open up two more points on Levi.
And 2 points is huge here.
12 for Joseph Goza. These guys are gunning.
These are ring.
Right. No center 10 shooting here.
No.
Joby with a 10. Well,
that's okay there on that. That's a pretty good target.
Yeah. Spoke a little too soon. Here we go, Jack Wallace on the Black Panther. And
Jack's getting along with that PSE.
He is getting along with it well. Uh-oh. Both the guys are getting down looking at this one. Don even took off his hat.
Yep.
Time for some shade.
Call the proctor.
There you go, proctor. Oh, they are getting out a pair of glasses. Ish just got real down there, Darren. There we go. The crowd's kind of jeering back there, but I guarantee you these guys want them to get every chance they get. 8 for Jack Wallace. Jack with the head shake there. So Danny McCarthy extends his lead up to 4 on Levi Morgan heading into arrow number 2. All right, here we go, Darren. Arrow number 2. Danny McCarthy now has a 4-point lead on Levi Morgan. Pretty interesting first arrow there with Levi 12ing the long one, but Danny shooting the 14. So now Danny is on the long coyote. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how he replies. That shot from Levi, his follow through didn't quite look like it normally does on his release hand. So I'll be curious to see what happened there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Dan doesn't 12 the coyote also. These guys are judging machines.
Yes, they are. 10 for Joby. Kind of just, I want to see what Levi Morgan's arrow is because his follow through didn't look normal to me on that shot.
Joseph's got a 10, puts him at 438.
And here we go, Levi Morgan on the, and he's still spotting. So. 10 for Levi Morgan. Obviously on that shorter deer, that was probably not what he was looking for.
No. After 12 in that long coyote, he was looking for a ring on that deer for sure.
Yes, he was. 10. So Danny, I'm not going to say he laid up on that, of course, but good solid score to move on for Danny.
And I know Jack just missed the 14 on the Black Cat, so if he went for that one, I know he's going for it on this lynx.
Right, absolutely.
And he's got it.
14 for Jack Wallace. So Jack Wallace recovers from that 8 with a 14, but we're still looking at a 4-point lead for Danny McCarthy over Levi Morgan heading into arrow number 3. All right, here we go, Darren. Arrow number 3. Things are just kind of, after starting off kind of hot. We had a few 10s there, but Levi Morgan's going to need to make up some points here on Danny for sure. And we all know after watching Levi for all these years, he's not here for second.
No, and his last 2 targets out of these 5 are going to be the shortest 2 he sees today. So.
Right. Jack Wallace and Danny firing at the same time down there.
Okay, first up, Joby Shaw on the link.
Joby Shaw on the links, and we're going to have an 8 for Joby.
Moves him to 440.
Gunning at that 14.
Yes, he was.
Long, slow walk to fairway.
That'll teach you to set that thing so far.
So what do you think about the fact that they actually have this year they have them set a little bit deeper back into the shadows than they did last
Makes
year?
it tough. You know, this lighting is tough to pick the number out. You know, it just makes it harder to judge. As
10
we
for
saw.
Jack Wallace on the long coyote. I didn't, and no, folks, no one can hear us, but I didn't go up there and look. How far are you suspecting that coyote is?
I didn't look at it from the stake, but listening to it, I'm going to guess it's about 47 or 48 yards.
Okay, gotcha. 12 for Dan McCarthy. So Danny McCarthy's trying to
He's going to
open it up a little bit.
He's going to wake up Mr. Morgan here is what he's going to do.
Right. Levi with a 10. So right about now, things are going to get very, very interesting heading into the 4th arrow. We got Joseph on the black cat, and you know it's about time Levi's going to decide whether he's going to actually hammer down or if he's going to try to lay back.
He's about ready to decide if he's going to win, and he's not here for second.
Right. 12 for Joseph Goza. So Levi Morgan shaking his head, looking over there. So this 4th arrow is going to be super interesting in the Men's Open Pro. All right, Darren, here we go. 2017 ASA Appling, Georgia. This weekend's coverage brought to you by AAE Arizona Archery Enterprises. Dan McCarthy's opened up a 6-point lead over Levi Morgan, so it's time for Levi's got to make a move now. He only has a couple targets left. There's just no choice.
I think you'll see him go big right here, I think. So it's a good-looking shot. I don't know where it hit, but
Yeah, we'll see what it looks like. Danny, of course, just running his program. Danny doesn't really get flustered by much.
no.
A little bit of a long follow through on that one. Immediately grabs his Vortex optics for Danny. So here we go. Levi Morgan on the Black Panther, and an 8. So for all intents and purposes, that's pretty much going to seal the deal for Dan, unless he
I would think so.
pulls a boo-boo. All right, 10. There we go.
8 points.
Jack Wallace on the deer. 8. So this has now become a race for second and third.
It has, yeah.
And so Danny McCarthy has put it down there with enough arrows left that he's pretty much just going to shoot center 10, win this out, and everyone else is going to have to scratch for the rest. Look at Joby coming in with a 14. Good for Joby. I'm happy to see Joby at least
On the
get one of
coyote,
those.
and I'm pretty sure that wasn't an accident.
Right. Good for Joby. I mean, he came out, shot a couple 10s and an 8. Not what he was looking for, but it's good to see him get that 14. That's
Yeah.
got to be a good confidence builder.
He'll shoot another one right here, I'd say. Or he'll shoot
He'll at
at
least
it.
try for it. 14 for
That's
Joseph
for Joseph.
Goza.
Puts him tied with Levi.
Yes, so Joseph and Levi Morgan now tied for second, heading into the 5th and potentially final arrow here at the ASA in Appling, Georgia. right, everybody, here we go. Fifth and potentially final arrow here at the 2017 Archery Shooters Association event in Appling, Georgia. This is Danny McCarthy's event to win. At this point, the real battle now is for second place between Levi Morgan and Joseph Goza. Levi's been doing this and Joseph been doing this a long time. I think Levi right now understands he can't win it.
Right.
And so he's going to protect second place as best he can, or at least try to win second.
He's probably going to win second, I'm guessing.
Danny, of course, is going to shoot center 10, not take any stupid chances. Of all the people out here that are are cerebral, and Danny McCarthy with a fist pump right there. So 14 for Levi Morgan on the links. Joseph Goza.
Joseph had a 10.
Yep. Levi Morgan glassing across range to check out what Levi Morgan did, or excuse me, what Danny McCarthy did. So at this point, Levi realizes he can't win, so he's just gonna get that second place locked up. 8 for Joby Shaw. 12 for Jack Wallace.
Fourth place. And now, Dan McCarthy, our leader, looking for the upper 12 in the Black Panther.
And he got it. Upper 12 for Danny McCarthy. So we are going to have a 6th and final arrow, and we will be right back to see who that's going to be. All right, here we go, Darren. This is the 6th and final arrow. Obviously, it's going to be a Matthews sweep here in the Open Pro. We have Joseph Goza sitting at a 474, Levi Morgan sitting at a 478, and leader Dan McCarthy at 484. The boys are talking. 14 for Joseph Goza. Great shooting, Joseph. Obviously, the 3 Matthews guys up there having some fun with each other, talking a little bit of trash. We always like to see that. So Joseph Goza wants that. Joseph Goza wants that second place check, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Levi needs a 10 to take second.
Yes, I'm assuming. Well, if Levi Morgan takes second, he'll still have more bonus rings.
Yes.
So yes, okay,
Yeah.
Gotcha. Us left coast guys don't know much about them bonus rings.
He should. I mean, I don't know what he'll do. He's pretty aggressive. He's liable to step up in 12 it, but he should really shoot center 10. He's not going to catch Danny. Danny's probably not going to make a mistake on this target.
No, absolutely not. Stranger things have happened, but knowing Danny McCarthy being the cerebral archer that he is.
Since they moved him in about 15 yards from where they shot it the first time, they're probably not going to miss it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. We're going to go ahead and definitely pencil in at least a 10 here, that's for sure.
Yeah. They're clapping.
They're clapping, so obviously that's
He's smiling. He says, I want a 14.
He shot at the 14 also.
Levi Morgan shoots a 14.
So now,
That's interesting.
if Dan shoots an 8, we have another arrow.
Yes, we do. So now Dan has to just shoot a center 10 to win it.
That's crazy. I mean, it's crazy.
So, all right, folks, here we go. Danny McCarthy with the last and potentially final arrow in the Open Pro at the ASA in Appling, Georgia. All Danny McCarthy needs to shoot is a center 10 for the win. And 8, we go to another arrow.
It's a good shot.
There we go.
And Dan McCarthy is your Open Pro champion.
All right, Matthews Pro staffer Danny McCarthy is going to be your 2017 Archery Shooters Association Appling, Georgia Men's Open Pro champion. All right, I'm here with your 2017 ASA Appling, Georgia Men's Open Pro champion. Great shooting this weekend, Danny. You shot incredibly consistent all weekend through the shoot down and everything. How does this feel?
Man, it feels great. I mean, it feels awesome. I'm just really happy to be out here and shoot against some of these guys. Are just amazing shooters, and anytime you can come out on top is just it's an overwhelming great feeling that you never get used to. It just feels really good.
All right, so obviously we've talked about the weather where you live and some of those stuff. So on a percentage scale, where do you now that you've had some time to shoot outside and get things really going here, where do you rank yourself as far as being ready to roll for the rest of the year?
Man, I'm shooting good. I feel good, but these guys are so good that at any time anybody can catch a streak, and so I try to just get as ready as I can per event. And I don't know that you can really be ready for everything.
We're gonna build that wall. Gotta keep
All right,
these
bud.
guys
Thanks and congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Greg. Appreciate it.